This is the Mundaka Upanishad, chapter 3, canto 2. Knowers of the Supreme Brahman, know that the whole universe is supported by Brahman and shines through the light of Brahman. But darkness does not belong to the Brahman. Why? Darkness has not been mentioned here. Because darkness has no existence of its own, while light has existence of its own. So when you talk of avidya, maya and ignorance, you should understand that word avidya has been frequently mentioned, relating it to the individuals. And maya in collective way or universal way. It has no existence, yet it seems to exist. Exactly like darkness. Darkness has no existence of its own. Absence of light means darkness. But if you are with the light all the time, will you be ever in darkness? No. No. Who created this avidya? Avidya has been created by individuals' ignorance. Maya has been created by the Brahman. But Brahman is not ignorant. This is the difference. Individual is ignorant, he suffers, while Brahman uses maya for manifestation. You are using that same power as avidya for manifestation, but you are called ignorant because you get entangled in that manifestation of yours. What is your manifestation? Your actions, your speech, all the actions, including thinking, including desiring. In this canto, you will find little bit deeper teachings, so you should be prepared and with one point in mind. Otherwise, you know what will you understand? When I asked one of the Mohammedans, I said, do you read namaz? Do you attend your prayers punctually 5 times a day? He said, no, it is not necessary. He said, why? I said, why? He said, it is written in the Quran. It is written in the Quran, don't read namaz. Don't do prayers. I said, where is it written? He brought the books, immediately showed me and then folded it again. I said, read ahead. It was written when you are not purified. When you are not clean, don't read namaz. So is the case with you people. If you are not properly attentive, you hear a little bit and then you don't. Then there is another word that has come. If you are fanatic, rigid in your views and not open to understand what the scriptures say, same thing will happen. It doesn't suit me. This is not my path. Knowledge has no ideology. Now, science has no ideology. It belongs to all. External knowledge. Philosophy and knowledge of Brahman has no particular ideology attached to any particular group, clan, dharma. Knowledge is knowledge. Light is light. Darkness is darkness. Darkness means absence of light. Knowers of the Supreme Brahman, sages, they are called seers. And there are categories of sages also. As in the word yoga, if you are practicing yoga, you are called yogi. If you have attained, you are called yogi. But look at the difference. Those who have practiced already and have accomplished, and those who are still practicing. The knowers of the Brahman, absolute truth, know that this whole universe, the universe of phenomenon, the universe of name and form, all that we see in the external world, entire universe with sun, moon, stars, and earth, supported by the Brahman. If it is not supported by the Brahman, the very basis of this is Brahman. It means there is order also. We see in human body, which is miniature universe, for analysis. So you all are scientists. You are trying to analyze the whole universe by understanding your own individual self. In human body, we see all the tattvas, all the elements as we see in the universe. You see. To understand the mysteries of the universe, you will have to understand the mysteries of individual self. The knowers say the whole universe, including human beings, creatures, earth, fire, water, air, space, all that you can imagine, see and understand, supported by the Brahman, that absolute truth which is not subject to change, death, decay and decomposition. That's the point. And shines through the light of Brahman. This light of the lamp has no use if I do not allow my light to see what light it is. To say, see light, how do I know what type of light it is? Light of sun, moon, star, light of what? Light of lamp. This is not light of sun, this is not light of moon, this is not light of star, this is light of lamp. How do I know this? The light through which I see, that light is not dumb light that we are receiving from it. That light contains knowledge. So when we are talking, this whole universe shining through that light means all the knowledge that we have today, even through our mind, senses, that comes from the same source, Brahman, source of consciousness within. Now, there is a hint here. Those who remove all worldly desires and worship Purusha, it's a knowledge that God is everywhere. This is knowledge. How are you being benefited by this knowledge? Now, you will be benefited the moment your teacher makes you aware, if God is everywhere, He should be within you. Then you start understanding within you that who dwells within you is called Purusha. Pur means city, Sah means sleeping. In the city of life, there sleeps, silently sleeping in the depths, in the deep recesses, in the inner chamber of your being, that Atman, and he is called Purusha. Pure consciousness. It's the same, that which is everywhere. Now you will say how it is possible that majesty who is omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent is in such a small body? The question might come. That's why I say great majesty, because it lives everywhere. Anor aniyan mahito mahiyan. In the biggest and in the smallest, he exists everywhere. No existence is valid. No, it is not possible for anything to exist without his existence. One who knows this transcends the cycle of birth and death. This coming and going should be transcended. What is the proof that there is rebirth? It's a proof. The word rebirth in Sanskrit is called janma. Jani pradurvave, that which has come forward. You have come forward from your home, town. Your very presence shows that you have come from somewhere. This is birth. Your very presence will show that you will be going somewhere else. And again repairing is called rebirth. But those who are wise are sick of these births and rebirths. A round of births and rebirths. Now, you say that you don't believe in rebirth. You can say. But then if you do not believe in rebirth and you see that cycle, then you are not responsible for any bad karmas. Then God is responsible because He created you. He creates you and you will be responsible for all the sins. What type of philosophy is this? If God is responsible to create you and you don't have any hand in your own having birth to this world, then let Him be responsible for all your actions. But that doesn't happen. If you commit a crime, you go to jail, not God. You see. You will have to understand what do you mean by rebirth. There are some Bibles, they do not say, but they never say anything against it, because they say a human being, if taught the philosophy of rebirth, he will never come out of it. He will be all the time thinking, oh, what is this problem? It's also a problem. It may create a problem. It has created a problem in the minds of philosophers, and that's why German philosophers said, death is sweet. He could not handle the problems in the world. Then he said, death is sweet, but birth is bitter. And worse, that you come back again to this world, come back and die. This is called pessimism. I say something. Once you are born, you don't have power in this life to go back and say that I will undo what has been done by my desire and karma. We have to see how we are reborn again. Why am I the way I am born in India in the Himalayas? I had a great desire and I still have. If I am born again, I want to be born in the Himalayas. And I will be born in the Himalayas. Because that desire I will carry with me in my unconscious when my body, breath drops, conscious mind fails, unconscious mind will become vehicle for my individual soul. It is called individual because it has individuality with it, and that is called unconscious mind, which is the reservoir of merits and demerits, so desires, feelings. That's why it is called individual. The moment it is dropped, and I look at Brahman, the bird, I am eating the fruit of this tree of life, the other bird is not eating. You see, she is only drashta, she only sees, she doesn't get involved. The moment I come to know we are two friends, this bird who is looking at me, this bird is free. Why am I entangled? Why am I attached? Why am I tasting? So remember, when you enjoy the fruits of your actions alone, you are doomed. Such as, I am trying to swim the ocean, and if I do like this, what will happen? I will be drowned. What do you do when you swim? The river, you push water backwards, then you go forward. In every breath of life, there is renunciation, tyaga. There are two words which you should understand very precisely. One is called renunciation, another is called vairagyam, non-attachment. If you have learned these two words and if you have practiced them, you are free. I renounce this. What right do I have to renounce? I have right because I think it is mine. I am using it and it is mine. I am attached to it. In a higher state of mind, human being says, like Kabir, one of the poets, great sage, said, what have I to renounce? I have nothing to renounce. Mera mujhko kuch nahi. Jo kuch hai so tor, tera tujhko saupda kya lage hai mor. Said, what is this? Renouncing. I have nothing to renounce. I have nothing my own. What can I renounce and offer to thee? If I give your own, the gifts you have given to me, offer to thee, is it called offering? Renouncing means just to renounce. Renouncing means creating a space between me and this. This is called renunciation. I walked away from my home, that is renunciation. But I exist, home exists. That is not enough. Both exist. So memory of home are still there with me. And those memories might have some lust contained in them, in subtle form. Therefore, renunciation is not enough. Renouncing something is not enough. What you need vairagyam, non-attachment. You see. So now those who are renunciate, they should follow renunciation strictly, and those who are in the world, they should follow vairagyam, non-attachment strictly. Non-attachment does not mean you should not have something. You should have all the things that you need. But your attitude towards the things that you have, what should be your attitude? All the things that you have belong to the providence. They are given to me. I should not misuse them. I should not get attached to them, for they are not mine. You have right to use, you have no right to be attached. Then you are a good householder. In renunciation, once you have renounced, renounce. So what? Phuk jhopadi dekh tamasha, we call it. You burn your own cottage, you look at it and smile. If you have renounced, renounce. How far that memory will last? I have renounced. So in either case, there is another point. One I call non-attachment and another renunciation, but between these two, there is one thing, abhyasa. Learning to practice. Why do you practice? What for practice is needed when you have learned about renunciation and, you see, non-attachment? If you study life of Buddha, you come to know. Buddha decided to leave his home at night, early hours, when his wife and son are deep in sleep. He went to the door. He almost went outside, but from there he turned back and wanted to see once more his own son. See how powerful is the attachment. In an instant comes back to see his own son once more, because that memory is there. There are many stages of non-attachment, vairagyam. When you take somebody's dead body to cremation ground, you all become sages for a few minutes. And then you start realizing what life is. Look at, same thing is going to happen to us. Here is our friend whom we loved so much, who used to talk to us, who used to help us, who was one with us, who used to smile, drink with us. Today we are burying that person, cremating that person. That vairagyam is called shamsana vairagyam, momentary. If you leave from the, cremation ground, renounce the world, there is nothing in this world of ours which we have created. This is mine and this is not mine. If you start practicing from that moment when you saw the reality, then you can do something. But when you turn your face towards home, again you remember all your attachments and all your, relationship. So that vairagya does not last for a long time. There is another stage of vairagya. Living in the world, you have analyzed the nature of the things with which you live. Amidst all these progress, outside great rush and roar, and amid all this progress, and deep down within there is darkness. That's what the modern man is suffering. So I say there is a silent crisis going on, revolution going on, and that is a spiritual revolution. Everybody is restless. And we have many, many therapy centers all over the country, all over the world. You see. Those therapy centers are not going to help unless they realize that which is lost here will be found here, not the outside where we are searching. So unless you find the reason of restlessness within yourself, you will be not at peace. There is a deer that carries musk in its bosom. She gets that fragrance of the musk and roams around in search of the musk. So is the case with us. Restlessly we are running around in search of peace. Where will we find peace? Peace lies within us. So abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyas, vairagya, bhyam, tannirodha, says Patanjali, the codifier of yoga science. Gita, which is the gist of all Upanishads in a modified manner, also says abhyasa and vairagya are two wings. Why word wings have been used? Those two birds have wonderful wings. Why they are, used here as birds? Why the symbol bird has been used here? Dvasuparna, wings. Their wings are golden. They are not dirty, they are not black. You see. Such a bird, Jivatma, who has developed two wings, at non-attachment and Navyasa, will fly from this shore to the other shore. That is the meaning. You see. Those two wings which are broken here in worldly attachments for lack of Abhyasa remains in the cage, self-created cage. A part of avidya is because of our own follies. The cage we have created for ourselves. What a silly thing. Yes. You are afraid of dying? You see, life is afraid of death? How it is possible? Impossible. Life can never be afraid of death. You see. Darkness is afraid of light? How it is possible? Ignorant human being is afraid of attainment? How it is possible? But your habit patterns, your deep-rooted habits lead you to that stage. You can be free from the cycle of birth and death. Because knowers of the Supreme Brahman, their experience which they are imparting with you, say that. By contrast, those who do not renounce all desires. All desires means the desires which are obstacles on the way. If you eat food just to keep yourself healthy and become instrument for self-realization, that desire is not injurious. Those desires which are injurious become obstacles on your path. Such desires pull you back and you are reborn. Today you die, you go to 8 hours sleep, that is called death, temporary death. Next morning you are reborn with the same burden, what you have to do, what you have left behind. So desire is motivation for rebirth. Those who do not have desire have only one desire, whose all desires are followed by one strong desire to meet thee, to go there, to be the Brahman. They are free. And those who are tossed by the desires, they are again and again born, and their surroundings is their own creation because they desired for it. You desire to choose this color of jacket. I desire to have a different color of jackets. We are wearing different jackets. This is our choice. The surroundings in which we are born, the country, place, community, this is our choice. You see? But those who are established in the self, their all desires have vanished in this lifetime. This is possible. You can postpone everything, but do not postpone enlightenment. You can postpone everything, but don't postpone seeing light. Do not make your eyes blindfolded. Open them. The knowledge of the Atman cannot be attained through discourses. Na Atma balahine labhyo na medhya na bahuna shrutin. It's a wonderful sentence. If you entangle and indulge too much in discourses, question and answers, you will never attain. In seeking also you have to be very careful. You are seeking and 2 days you go this way. Third day, I don't think this is the right path. You go this way. And fourth day this way. And fifth day this way. Whole life will be spent in doing this. These are not called experiments. These are called confusions. Knowledge of Atman cannot be attained through discourses. Intellectual analysis. Intellectual analysis is very good for worldly prosperity. But intellectual surrender is needed for attaining Atman. There's a difference. If you want to cut short your ego, just cut it. You see? Polishing your ego, you will be called a good person. But you will be not called knower of the Brahman. If you know how to use your ego or polish it rightly, you will be called civilized person. You will be successful with the help of that ego and that intellect which functions you attaining worldly prosperity. This Atman cannot be attained by those who lack inner strength. That's one other thing. Even external strength. Veer Bhogya Pasundara, who enjoys the things of the world. One who is strong. A person without having strength cannot enjoy anything. I have seen. New York is full of those, they have everything in abundance, but they don't have strength within. You see. What a poverty. They are the poorest people of our society. Those who have all the means of enjoyment but no strength. Here relating to Atman, it is again and again said, Naya Atma balahine labhyo. Atma can never be attained by coward or by that who is weak. He will have to be strong. Strong from within. Strong from outside, appointing 20 guards. Having a big lock. Locks after locks. Not sleeping well, somebody might rob you. Not walking alone because you are a rich person, somebody comes to know, will shoot you. All the time you are controlled by the fears created by your own mind. As case of Atma is concerned, Atma cannot be attained through discourses, intellectual analysis, or even extensive study. I tell you, there was one Swamiji, his name was Nirvanji in our monastery. He was literally my guardian. He was appointed on me. He did not know a word of English. And a child, 7 or 8 years of age. So he was all the time after me saying, come on, read it. I said, you don't understand English. If I speak anything, how will you know? At least you will be reading something. I said, I read quite. No, you have to say something. So one day, I was angry, so I said, Nirvanji, you are a stupid fool, and I made up some 20 bad names for him, and I started speaking. So there was another Swami who knew English. He came, he said, do you know what he said? He is giving you bad names. He said, doesn't matter, he will be exhausted. Let me see how long can he give. So, he was there. One day we were discussing on the Upanishads. This man, for 70 years, heard the wisdom of the Upanishads, but did not know how to sign. We could not solve the problem. He came and said it is easy, and he told us this is like this. Because he heard all the Upanishads. He was like walking encyclopedia of Vedic literature and philosophy. So knowledgeable. Never read in any university, in any school. Here, it is a solace for those who do not have big degrees. It is not necessary for you to be a degree holder if you want to attain Atma. That's the point. It is not necessary for you to have extensive study of the scriptures, then you will attain Atma. Who? But only to those who it chooses does Atman unfold itself. One wonderful point here. Why anyone should choose you? Why Lord God, omnipresent, omniscient, absolute truth, should choose you, a junk? Nobody goes, a diamond cutter never goes to junkyard and picks up the junk and just tries to. Why should you be called chosen? It means you have those qualities. You have cultivated those qualities. You have done sincere efforts. You have worked hard with yourself. So remember, the grace word is a result of your sincere effort. They cannot be separated. It's like a coin, both sides of the coin. One side is grace, another side is sincere effort. Those who do sincere effort, grace dawns. This is the point. O students of Atman, O aspirants of knowledge, O travelers of the path of light, do your best. There is one instance, one example in Vedic history. There is one rishi, one seer who started crying once. He reached there, but there he found a keyless door. The door was there was no key for it. You see, he said, I worked hard. I reached I opened the door and he's there, and I will be one. He started crying, helplessly. When do you cry and say, God, when you see all your resources are exhausted, when no one in the world can help you, and say, God, help me. At that stage, when you have used all your resources, all your means, and yet you are not there, then you cry with all your heart. The door opens for you. That is called grace. But if you say, become lazy, sitting, I don't have to do anything, let God give me His grace. Laziness, inertia, sloth is considered to be a sin according to a school of Buddhism, a school of meditation. No religion says be immersed in the sloth, be lazy, be inert, and you will reach there. Yeah. So we will explain what that sin means in future. Inner strength, first thing we need. Sincerity, second thing. Tapas, learning to direct the energy or knowledge we need. Dispassion means compassion. Dispassion means compassion. Compassion towards the things of the world, that they all belong to the Lord. They are not mine. You see. Not complete retirement. You see. Learning to understand right attitude towards the things, the objects and relationship in the world. One who is endowed with these means attains self-realization and as a result enters the realm of Brahman. Realm of Brahman is final realm. There are degrees of happiness. You see. That happiness which no one can snatch from you. Once you are there, there's no chance for you to get unhappy. Permanent happiness. All these joys, comparing that happiness with these little pleasures and joys is this, that these pleasure and joys last for a certain time and again you become sad. But once you have attained the kingdom of Brahman, Atman, then you are free, you will be never sad. Tattaka sukha kamoha ekatvam manupashyata, the Upanishad says. For such people, where is sorrow? Where is attachment? Because they have become one with the Absolute. You see. They are happy wherever they are. If they are here, they are happy, liberated. If they go there, they are liberated. How? Imagine a jar filled with water. Like you. Put inside the ocean. And when jar breaks, what happens to that jar? That becomes ocean. Many people think, I don't want to lose my individuality. You are not losing your individuality, you are expanding your individuality from individual to cosmic self. A river meeting the ocean, that narrow little name is vanished. She becomes ocean. A drop meets the ocean, becomes ocean. Individual meets Brahman, becomes Brahman. When? Here, afterwards both. Now we go to fifth mantra. Upon attaining this, seers become content in their wisdom. On the path of wisdom and light, there is no contentment, and there should not be, unless you have reached. I am content because I have done 5 minutes japa, 10 minutes japa. That is not good. The difference between two words, contentment and satisfaction, is great confusion. Like love and lust. Vast difference. Contentment word is used when you have done your work and when you are reaping the fruits of your actions. You become sad. I worked hard whole year and I didn't get A+. You remain discontent, but you are helpless. You cannot do anything. You cannot go back second time, go to the class and reappear. It will take another year. No. Content, be content in all times, all the time. But don't be satisfied, otherwise you will not have motivation. Arjuna means one who makes sincere efforts. Krishna was a great teacher who was leading Arjuna. You see. He talks about contentment in Gita. He says that karpanya doso prahasovava prachwami tvam dharma samudha cheta. O Arjuna, you are suffering on account of karpanya dosa. Literally means you are suffering on account of miserliness. You are such a great warrior and suddenly you become miser. You are a very rich person and when you become miser, you become petty. You should be liberal wherever you have to be liberal. You are suffering on account of karpanya dosa. You are so brave and here you say you don't want to fight and they are here standing to fight with you. You think that you should not fight with your guru and your guru is prepared to kill you. You should not fight with your grandfather and he is there to kill you. Stupid. What type of knowledge it is? Wake up. Remember your strength. It is in the case of Hanumana, one of the characters, most important character of Ramayana, epic. Hanumana all the time did not know about his strength. Somebody was needed to tell him, hey, you are great Hanumana, you have so much power, you have so much strength. Come on, you are not a mere monkey. You see, you can do wonders, you can cross over this ocean. You can kill everyone, you have so much power. What is it called? Remembering your own power within yourself. When you forget that, you become a monkey. When you remember, you become a Hanumana. You see. When you forget your power, you become impotent. As Gita says. When you remember, you become Arjuna, fight to the last and then become victorious. You see. Don't become impotent. You see. You can become impotent when you don't realize your strength that is already within. When you identify yourself with the objects which is nashwara, which is changing, which is subject to death, then you become weak. You are too friendly with your bodies. And you are a constant friend and that is called your body. And body is very meek, weak and dies. So when you are a friend of someone, all the time you are receiving input, all the time you have vibes, all the time you have companionship with someone who dies. How can you be strong? You always identify, I will die, I will suffer, I will go insane. All the time you think about it. I need husband, I need children, I need this, You don't need anyone. You have Atman, the real source of energy. Just go to him. Go to him. From where all energy comes. Who has given energy to your husband, children, wife and others? It's good you have companions. But a time comes when no one helps you. Who helps you? Your inner strength helps you. Those who are content in their wisdom, established in Atman, free from attachment and desire, and are fully at peace. What is the way of peace? There, Upanishad, Wisdom of Upanishad says, peace cannot be given by your Guru, Swami, no matter how great is he. Peace will be not given by God, because this is not his work. He has created you, he has given you intelligence, he cannot give you peace. Let him come down and say, here Swami Rama, there is peace, it will not help. Peace will come to you, free from attachment and desire. If you are not attached to anything and you are doing your duty, you will have peace. Yes. And desire, if you do not have desire, useless desires that toss you around, you will have peace. The more your mind is scattered, the more you have many desires to fulfill, The more you have many attachments, the more you land into something, you see, which creates a whirlpool for you, never allows you to be peace. Oh Lord, give me peace is a bad prayer. What do you say? Oh Lord, give me strength is the right prayer. You need inner strength. For inner strength, you go to the innermost within you. You become aware that the innermost within you, there is light, there is source, there is consciousness, and you become aware of that. You draw that Shakti from there. You don't need, Lord, give me peace. Lord says, my son, I have given you all that you need. You should attain peace. Don't be attached to the things of the world and don't have many desires and you have peace. Peace is a product of not having many desires, not having many attachments. You should love your wife, love very sincerely, one point in mind. You should be very honest, but you should not be attached to her. If you are attached to her, it means you are selfish. Then it means you are not lover. You see? How a selfish person can love? You see? So love is different from that. The realized souls enter the real realm of Brahman. Those who attain the final precise wisdom expounded in Vedanta. Vedanta and Upanishads are one and the same. Vedanta, the finest teachings of the Vedas. The latter part of the Vedas, the best part of the Vedas is called Vedanta. And who, by the following of the path of renunciation, have purified their minds, attain freedom from all bondages, and after casting off the body, go the realm of Brahman, the realm of highest immortality. This particular verse is meant for the renunciates. The renunciates who have renounced, they should not even have the stains of lust, attachment towards things of the world. When they have purified their minds and heart, they attain freedom from all bondages. It means there are many bondages. Bondage of karma, bondage from fears, bondage from avidya, bondage from maya. There are series of bondages. They are free from all bondages. And they attain the realm of Brahman, the realm of highest immortality. But as far as knowledge is concerned, I want to tell you. Suppose you have a stair, ladder. Now, is there any carpenter or any engineer an architect who can design a ladder to cross this sky? If you make a ladder, biggest ladder that ever can be imagined, your head will never hit. Go on making ladder, rung after under, climbing. There is no end. But you don't have to do that. Why do you want to do that? Make a ladder inside you. Very simple. Someone is waiting to hug you. Someone is waiting to embrace you. Why do you not go inside within you? Your greatest friend is within you. Oh man, look within, find within and see within. That's the meaning. Now, something important comes. The seven. What is this big fun that you have to come to hear Swami spend so much money in 1 week in Pocono? Why can't you study Upanishad, buy Upanishad that costs $3-4? The scriptures say you cannot do that. At the time of liberation, all the 15 constituents of the body, 5 gross elements, 5 senses, 5 pranas, return to their sources. You see, if teacher is not there, who will explain this to you? 15 constituents. By reading books, by hearing the discourses, not by understanding what the scripture says, how will you brood upon the sayings, how will you contemplate, and how will you attain? Not possible. All previous karmas, intellectual knowledge, and the individual soul all become one with the absolute Brahman once you understand. This is not a theory of filtration. You are filtering one by one. No. Dissolution. You are offering one by one everything. How? What are those 15? You can write down. They are not mentioned here. Only Prashnopanishad mentions it. "15 parts. Now, it is written Shraddha here. Those who know Hindi and Sanskrit will understand. Shraddha does not mean love. Faith does not mean mere faith. Shraddha means prem, love, plus bhakti, reverence. Love plus reverence is called Shraddha. If you have intense love, but one thing you commit mistakes, then I don't call it love. If you love somebody, why do you hate others? I have seen you doing that. For loving someone, you do not need to hate others. It happens in worldly love. Now, if there is a woman and there are 2 lovers, if there are 2 lovers and 1 woman, one and the same thing, if 2 men know that we both are loving that, they will kill each other in jealousy. But if 2 men know that we both belong to God, we both love God, they will love each other immensely. Just the difference. First thing you need is Shraddha, a deep-rooted conviction. I have to attain Brahman in this lifetime. All that I have, I will use everything to attain that. Actually, you don't need anything. If you want to use anything, it will not help. You see. So, what you need first? Shraddha, that intense love, which is deeply mingled with love and reverence both. One of the Persian poets says, "Muhabbat ke karane mein adab pehla karana hai." On the ladder of love, first step is reverence. Love comes later on. If you do not respect the person whom you love, that's not love. That is called selfish motive. You should learn to love the person, respect the person whom you love. Very important. Then that is called love. If reverence is missing, then that is not love. That becomes object of sense gratification. First you need Shraddha. Then comes one by one. These 15 constituents are first Shraddha, love, come reverence, 1, space. air, vayu, fire, water. Or we have 15 constituents: earth, the sense organs, the mind, food, vigor, austerity, tapas, hymns, karma. What is to be sacrificed in life? Don't be afraid of the word sacrifice. Sacrifice means renouncing those karmas which are to be renounced. Simple thing. While making a fire, that fire is a symbol, you are building a fire of knowledge. In that fire of knowledge, the obligation is that those karmas which stand in front of you as obstacles, that is called yajna. The worlds and the Nam, they with prana constitute the Purusha or man. This, we are talking of human body. Anything that has created, that has built this human body, there are mostly 15 constituents. Those 15 constituents, why after departure, what happens to them? Where do they go? It is explained here. At the time of liberation, all the 15 constituents of the body, they go to their original sources. Earth goes to earth. What happens to you when you're carrying a jar full water, when you just break it? What happens to the water? Water goes to water, space goes to space, air goes to sphere. You see, all the constituents go to their original tattvas. You see, nothing happens, nothing is lost. It means when you die, nothing is dead actually. Death means a change. Death means habit of body. Deep-rooted habit. As you cannot control your own habit, death. Body cannot control the habit called death. But the yogis who know how to control their bodies can control death, because the habit of body is death. They can do it. All the elements go to their original elements from where they have come. All previous karmas, past karmas are the main things, which are called sanskaras. All sanskaras are burnt, washed off, and the individual soul all become one with the Absolute. How? Next point says, just as flowing rivers give up their names and forms to merge into the ocean. As you see, highest of all yogas is yoga of surrender, self-surrender. Knowledge through self-surrender. Liberation through self-surrender. That which we consider ourselves is ours. Let us surrender that to the mighty self. The finest of ourselves is there. We are not giving it to somebody else. Let us give that to the finest of the self instead of giving it to the external self. At present we are offering things to the gross self. Let us give all that to the subtlest self. That's the point. You are not giving anything to the outsiders, so this is not called giving. You are giving it to your innermost self, Atman, surrendering it in front of Atman, not in front of ego, not in front of jiva, not in front of senses. Surrender all that you have, including your body, all 15 constituents to your Atman. That is called self-surrender. Self-surrender is the easiest way for attainment. That's the point. As the rivers surrender their names and forms by meeting the ocean and become ocean, so human being, oh individuals, you become Brahman. Once you meet the Brahman, and through knowledge alone you can do it. In knowledge it included bhakti. What happens to the river when river meets the ocean? What happens to the individual when individual meets Brahman? One who knows Brahman verily becomes Brahman. One who knows Brahman through scriptures does not become Brahman. No. One who knows Brahman directly. One who has learned through his practice, sincere efforts, and one who is grace, such a person becomes one with the Brahman, and that person who has become one Brahman is like Brahman. And in his lineage, now, as I said, there is Guru lineage. In his lineage, no one remains ignorant of Brahman. How it is possible that under perennial light one remains in darkness? Not possible. Such great gurus enlighten their disciples also. This is the meaning. He goes beyond all sorrows and vice and attain freedom from all the knots of the cave of the heart. In our human heart, we have entanglements, knots, many knots. Lust for this, lust for this, lust for this. The desires have created many knots in human heart and mind. Those knots are broken and we are free from all fetters. All fetters are destroyed. As is said in the mantra, this knowledge of Brahman should only be imparted to those who are sincere, studious, inclined toward Brahman. Nadatavyam, nadatavyam, nadatavyam. Don't give, don't give, don't give to undeserving. Even if he is your son, even if she is your wife, even if he is your great friend. No. It should be given to only those who are sincere, studious, and inclined towards Brahman. Those who are not sincere, not hard-working, not inclined to attain knowledge, don't impart this knowledge to them, because it will be sheer waste of time and energy. It will not bear any good fruits. So your hard work will be of no use to you. Self-disciplined. You don't need anyone to impose discipline on you. If somebody is imposing discipline on you, you are called foolish child, stupid child, unruly child. For unruly child, if teacher, father or mother always uses cane, imposes, don't do this and don't do this and don't do this and don't do this. Or do this and do this and do this. You say, no, you do not need that. Who is inclined towards Brahman, self-disciplined, one who finds delight in disciplining themselves, they are called self-disciplined. The day you start finding delight, a stage comes when you start following the path of light, and then you have to discipline yourself. Discipline means gathering together yourself, all your means, all your power, all your vigor, all your might. The day you find delight in discipline, that will be a great day in your life. And then slowly that discipline will give you such a vigor, such a strength which you will not find elsewhere. That Shakti is great. Physical power, very little. Mental is greater than that. But Atma, the power, is spiritual power, is the greatest. Meek and weak people, physically, had great spiritual power. You see. There was one sage in Japan, when Mongols attacked Japan, Japan was not capable to raise its force and stand. The forces, they did not have enough military power during that day. Mahatma Nichiret, you see, their mantra, Namya Vyo Ringekyo, they remember this mantra in Japan. Single-handed stood first and he said, come on, no force on the earth can come and attack Japan and destroy my Japan. He looked towards force. And everybody went back. Highest of all the powers is power of Atman, who is the very basis and foundation of this universe. The seer Angiras, don't forget, from that noble lineage of the sages, Brahma, the firstborn, gave this knowledge to Atharvana, then to his guru, finally his disciple, and then finally to Angiras. The same Angiras explained this truth in ancient times. To whom? Whom did he explain? Come on. Sanuka. Who was Sanuka? A householder. You see. Acha. It means this knowledge can be imparted to householder and sannyasis both, renunciates and householders both. This will benefit both. A person who has fulfilled his vows may study this Upanishad. Who is determined to walk on the path of light, certainly it will benefit. One who are renunciate, certainly it will benefit. Homage to the great sages, homage to the great sages, homage to the great sages. Homage to those who have first given knowledge of the herbs to the doctors today. Doctors have forgotten that. Who gave the knowledge of these herbs today, how to use them? So homage to those great seers who have given the knowledge of the Vedanta to the students. Homage to that lineage from where we receive that.